Much. Thank you all for being here. It's a little bit unfortunate to be Friday afternoon, a wonderful day outside, so I think that everybody is a little bit uh, grasping for going and visiting this wonderful city. Instead I will have to come back to Rome by train. Anyway, I hope we can keep you awake for a few more minutes. I will try to be very short anyway. Um, I think you saw this slide already several times in different, in maybe with slightly different pictures. I saw this morning the same slide, exactly the same slide, more or less from Mark. This slide is actually coming from CESAR program itself. It's showing the evolution of the ATC way for managing, from procedural control to radar control to trajectory management. This evolution, of course, it implies a growth in the automation, and I don't think to tell more than what has been already said. Automation in support of human performances. One of the main pillars of CESAR future target concept is to keep the humans in the center. What does it mean? It means that the automation is expected to help operators to take better and faster decisions. Of course, because there will be an increased volume of information that need to be processed in a very quick way, and only few information need to be delivered to the operators. Normally they will not need all the information, but they will need the right one to take the right decisions. And also, the automation should help to build very quickly what-if scenarios. Normally, computers are better than humans to foresee the evolutions of a certain situation in case certain things are done. So in perspective, you can see the consequence of your choices, and then based on these different analysis and the different scenarios that you might expect, you might try to take the right or the most appropriate decision. And of course, another important role of the automation, I'm thinking about the controllers, of course, is to prevent them to insert into the system wrong information. So this is typically done at human-machine interface level. Of course, we expect automation to take over operations, especially those that are repetitive operations, so what we call the routine, while the human role should be kept into high value-add tasks, so such the strategic planning, intervening on exceptions, of course, taking decision and acting consistently with this decision, and monitoring the system behavior, which is something new probably, because at the beginning you didn't have all this automation to, let me say, to be confident on the way it was behaving. Now, in terms of responsibility, we do not see a significant change. At the end, the controller will still be somehow responsible for the separation and for the safe conduction of the flight. There will be additional responsibilities, for instance, coming from the fact that at a certain level they will have also to monitor the system behavior and the consistency of the information that they received. In terms of liability, I really don't want to enter into discussion at this stage because I'm not an expert on that. So of course, because the ATC operators will increasingly rely on automation to perform the task, it is expected that the automation that is going to be delivered is going to be somehow intrinsically reliable. And this is somehow a must. If we want to rely on automation, we want to be sure that automation is safe. It doesn't introduce any additional risk for safety, infringement of safety, which means a certain number of actions that need to be taken, such as change management strategy, so that all the development tools are done with the direct involvement of the final users. This is also has to be done in order to increase their acceptance. I think I heard this number of presentations which were getting around this specific issue. Also in the health system, we heard more or less the same thing. I heard something that was said about the problem for the instrument, very technological instruments that brought to potential risk or damage because their human-machine interface was not appropriate. So basically the usability of this tool was not as expected. The tool itself was working fine, but the way it was handled by the operator in some cases create risk. And this is something, of course, we need to avoid at all stake. And another very important thing is that, and this is also something that I heard in the presentation for the LHS and SAPN, we need to face and to learn in advance how to manage the degraded situation. The degraded mode design is very important because we know already that the automation in some cases will fail, and we still need to know exactly how to react. And Mark also this morning, I think, explained very well what are the different levels and the different way to act. So we cannot expect, for instance, to revert to the way we were operating 30 years ago just because some of the automation went wrong. We need to have a backup system, backup of backup systems, and especially some kind of procedures to clean the sky, bring everybody on land, give up for a while, reducing capacity dramatically in certain circumstances, and then eventually resume. So, and another very important issue, of course, due to the fact that we want systems which are intrinsically reliable, we need a very strong certification process, because I understood, of course, that the liability somehow is moving from the operator down to the system provider in a way, or the service provider, whatever. So all the system and service provider need to be certified in a consistent way, in a standardized way to ensure its resilience. And on the other hand, we also want to be sure that the certification process somehow doesn't create a barrier for evolution. I think this is also an important concept. Conclusions. It's essential for the optimization of the human performance. So it's essential to improve the human performance, and we know that automation is a key element in this kind of process. We cannot give up, we cannot deny this fact. Human factors shall be taken into consideration from the very beginning of the process, and especially for what regards system design. And so the challenge that we are calling for is clear strategy for change management, early analysis and proposed mitigation action for human performance and all the related risks, and a robust but simple certification process to prove system resilience in the operation environment. That's more or less all I wanted to say in the presentation. A number of additional considerations came to my mind while listening to the other people this morning and this afternoon. Very, very interesting sessions, and I really I'm really sorry not to be able to be here yesterday, because I'm sure it was also very interesting too. Something that's straight to my mind is this came especially from the presentation I heard the first panel this afternoon about the analysis of the accident, or was this morning before lunch. There were 4 examples of accidents. 2 were real accidents, and 2 were kind of simulated scenarios, possible accident that fortunately didn't occur yet, and hopefully will never occur. Nonetheless, 2 of these 4, so about 50%, were somehow caused, or one of the root causes of this accident was for the human being in the center. In a way, sometime the accident is occurring because the human want to take decision upon the suggestions of the automatic system. This could be the case of Uberlingen in a way, so the decision of overtaking the suggestion of the tickets, and in the remote pilot aircraft, if I understood well, there was a suggestion from the system for avoided detection that was saying something, and the mission manager decides something else. So we always say human in the center, and I do believe this is the right way. But on the other hand, I think a good thing, and I don't know whether this is between responsibility and liability, we need to understand where are the areas where human in the center should maybe step a bit back and leave the automation providing the right suggestion and simply obey to that, because there are circumstances, provided that the system is working fine, that the automated produced solution is probably the best one, simply because this system managed to elaborate an incredible number of information that the human being could not elaborate in that short time frame. Probably it is also the solution which is not emotional, because sometimes this, and I was talking with some colleagues of mine, of course, emotion in a certain way, and also in healthcare, there's another situation where emotions can, in some cases, bring the human decisions to the wrong decision, or I don't know, but I think this is something to be considered. So where is the barrier where humans sometimes should be umili, I don't know exactly the English word, to say, okay, well, if the system says so, better to do so. And this is also true for procedures, in a way. I mean, procedures are there to keep the system safe, but in so many cases, at the end of the story, we are the ones that are breaking the rules, thinking that we can act more clever, in a clever way than what the rule provides, and then the error and all the error chain starts to get to the dramatic consequences of a big accident. Thanks.